What's up, Sporkman family? It's your boy Sporkman, and welcome back to another video. Today we're talking more about Konami, more about the structure deck, and just more about the products coming out here in 2025 and what the plan is moving forward for Konami to kind of just, take over the market. It's kind of crazy to be saying that, a company taking over the market, right? But we've seen it with other companies like Pokemon, we've seen it with other companies with other collectible stuff. And I think Konami is not dumb to this. They're seeing that and they want to get into this. Obviously, we've seen it with Pokemon, with the Costco, people elbowing each other, punching each other, pushing each other for products. And I think with that social media craze, Konami's trying to do this with their products as well, right? We see the QCR so hard to pull, as we talked about in my previous video with the structure deck, and we're going to look more about these structure deck openings because there's been more openings the past few days, and it does look like it's very hard to pull QCR, but I digress for a second because I think Konami really wants to take over the market. They want to make their products worth buying into. They want people to pick up large quantities of their product. They want it to be sold out of your Targets, of your Walmarts, of your Best Buy, of your Costco, whatever place you buy, they want it to be sold out because they want to start that craze. They want to start people going nuts for products like this, right? The same regard goes for the new video game coming out, which we'll talk about very shortly, and putting a QCR, one of two different QCRs you can get in a game, making you want to buy two of the same game, but because there might be still value in it. So they're noticing these things. They're noticing. They're not dumb. They're realizing what they can do. So they're making their products in a way to make it valuable, right? They realize the rarity stuff, right? That's why we had the QCRs for 3 years now, right? That's why we've had that product for 3 years, that type of rarity for 3 years, because they realize people are going crazy for the shiny cardboard. We talked about shiny cardboard really does do wonders because people just love looking at stuff like that, right? They created the rarity collection stuff, and that has definitely impacted the market. That has definitely impacted the way people want to collect. That's definitely impacted people's way of coming back into the game to collect the stuff they like to see in a more shinier version. And they're doing it in large quantities, right? We're coming out with our 4th Rarity collection. I mean, that's insane. 4 Rarity collections within a 2-year span. That's nuts. That's nuts. I've never heard about a product line like that in Yu-Gi-Oh! Having 4 different lines in this short amount of time, right? So, I mean, they see something that is successful and they're just grabbing onto it and pushing the avenue and pushing those printers to really work for this rarity and for this, again, product line. Again, they are making this market. They are trying to dictate what this market is, and they're trying to cause the craze. They're trying to cause things to be sold out and out of stock in a lot of different ways, and they're definitely going to start doing that with this structure deck as its first appearance here in 2025, as we, have the structure deck coming out very soon, especially on Valentine's Day. What a day for this one to come out, but I do really feel like they are trying to create this market, and I think we're going to see that with this year's tins. I think we're going to see that with Stampede. We're going to see that with a lot of different products this year, and it's worrisome because if Konami's trying to do those things, pre-release on the product itself is going to be massively expensive, right? We're looking at the structure deck that MSRP is going for $11.99. Ladies and gentlemen, we are above $20 for this structure deck. Look at the market price for one structure deck, right? And that's not even considering the fact that, you need 3. You need 3, and something that's supposed to be affordable, it may no longer be affordable now. Your locals are definitely going to sell it for TCG player price, and you cannot blame them for selling it for TCG player price because when you go into their shop, you ask to buy a card, you say, can I buy it for TCG player price? So they're just doing it, reflecting right back at you. So, don't get upset at your locals. They're going by what you wanted in the first place. But again, this is the market that Konami is creating, and they realize they can dictate that market depending on how they're creating and structuring their product, right? Whether it be a structure deck, whether it be a set, it's scary to think about. Right, it's scary to think about. And again, we're seeing a bunch of these videos, and again, I don't show the entire video of someone's video. It's not my video, but I'm just showing you a picture of what is the promo card for each of these videos, and these are like the early openings of the structure deck. But you can see here, Secret Rare, and again, my friend Heart of the Pack opened a whole display, 8 structure decks, all secret rares. Did not get one single QCR. So again, the ratio is definitely crazy for this one. It's definitely crazy. There's been 20 openings, right? 20 openings, plus openings, maybe even more. And out of all the openings, Cyber Knight was the only one to get a QCR. At least from what I was able to check out. If I'm missing someone getting a QCR, you guys let me know in the comment section down below. But from all the openings I saw, all the early openings, I did not see one single QCR from the structure deck except from Cyber Knight. That in itself is worrisome. Because that means these QCRs are going to be worth a lot. Considering the fact that the Blue Eye stuff in general, with the Prime Eye, with the Crimson Dragon, with the Stardust, all this type of stuff has gone skyrocketing up in value. Skyrocketing up in value. It's worrisome. And they're doing this with the video game as well. You're only getting one of 2 quarter-century secret rares in the video game. So it makes you want to buy into the video game 2 or 3 copies to see if you could try to pull both copies. They know what they're doing. They're creating this market. It's a dangerous game they're playing, but a smart game in their favor. It's just gonna make us want to spend more money, and it's tough because, I mean, let's be honest, everybody. It's not a cheap game. None of these TCGs are cheap, right? They cost money, and I think Yu-Gi-Oh! More or less costs, in my opinion, more than Pokemon, only to the fact that you have to keep buying into the new set to play the game at an effective level. And sometimes you have to buy 3 of that card. That is a lot of money to do so. Now, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of times the only reason why certain Pokemon cards cost a lot is because there's collectible value. They see, certain things. I don't know. You could correct me again. I don't know the Pokemon market like that because I don't follow it. But I don't feel like their cards that are really, playable for their competitive scene is that much money. But again, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a dangerous game, and the market is very high right now for a lot of different things. It's not cheap to play this game, for sure. There's a lot of reprints. Granted, we've gotten a lot of reprints of staple cards, but then they have gone up in value almost immediately. And they've been reprinted in such a great way in large quantities in certain stuff like Rarity collections. But as we've seen with Infinite Permanence, as we've seen with Ash Blossom, all these cards, even it's getting another reprint in the structure deck, it's still going to be worth like $4, $5, $6. So no matter how many times you reprint those staple cards, they're always going to be worth value, no matter what. And as you see with the structure deck, it's not going to be cheap, so definitely the price is going to be inflated for those staples as well, no matter what. So it's something else, man. It's something else what they've done here. And they've done it very smart. They've done it slowly, but smart. And now we're going to see that craze start to happen. And I think, again, we're going to see a lot of places sold out of this structure deck because of the chance to pull something like that, right? I talked about this a few years ago, even this past year, about doing that with the tins, right? Not having every tin have a QCR, maybe placing them here and there, but not to this extent. I mean, we're looking at a massive, massive ratio disparities. Like, it looks nothing close to being accessible in any type of way. I mean, you could have put maybe like 2 in every 8 structure decks, but man, you open a whole display, you get 0. That is rough, man. That is so rough. Even if you're gonna, like, my idea with the tins is if you were gonna do that, maybe 2 or 3 per case. And I think that's fair when you talking about maybe a promo card for a QCR, or maybe they, who knows what they do with the Rarity in the future now that QCRs are going away. Alliance Insight, again, we don't know what's going to happen this year's tins, but I digress. I'm just a little worried to see what happens here because we've got a lot of things to worry about. A Rarity collection, as we've seen, stuff has just gone up, and they knew what they were doing with this. They knew that over time the stuff would go up. Keep in mind, everybody, for those that are not paying attention, these mini boxes are skyrocketing, close to almost what the worth is in a whole booster box. And consider the fact there's only 4 packs in that. That's insane. But I mean, again, that was very rare to find at your Walmarts and stuff. So if you're able to get your hands on that, still to this day, definitely pick it up. It's definitely worth a good bit. And you can see the market price for 4 packs from this is $77. But again, this is a little bit more rare to find than the actual booster box, which, you know, is funny enough as well. But I mean, you look at Rarity Collection 2, you know, it fell off just a little bit, but then again, some of these cards are jumping back up in price. You know, some of these cards that were, you know, $10, $8, $6 at some point, they've jumped up to like $30. They've jumped up to $25. So they're increasing in price over time. And all these Rarity Collection cards, Bonanza, Rarity Collection 1, Rarity Collection 2, Stampede coming out very soon, they're all going to increase over time. So whether they be at $5 at one point, you can look at it 2 months from later, and it's probably going to be at $15. So they're jumping in price. These QCRs are not slowing down. Again, they figured out a system where they can succeed in terms of this. And people are definitely jumping on the fact to get these things. And I don't know what they plan to do. Again, we don't know what they plan to do after QCRs. And I have a feeling the Starlight Rares are going to be here after QCRs. But they're going to follow this same, you know, step and maybe have like maybe 20 Starlights per set. I mean, you know, who knows what they plan to do? Who knows what the next rarity is? Maybe there'll be a QCR, but not with the 25th anniversary stamp. Just a QCR rarity. If you get my gist, not a Starlight, but you know what this is, just without the 25th stamp. So there's a lot of different ways they can go about this, but definitely Stampede is something to keep your eye on, as well as they definitely will try to do certain things, especially in the ratios, seeing that this is the last set really to have that core century, you know, mark. We'll see what they do with the ratios for this one as well, but I'm telling you, they have definitely seen a game plan that can work in their favor to make people want Yu-Gi-Oh products even at a higher rate, and they're gonna capitalize on that. They're definitely gonna capitalize. And with this structure deck getting as much hype and as much success early on from pre-release, and again on release probably will be at even a higher hype rate, they're definitely going to continue that pattern with other structure decks in the future, putting rarities that people want and limited to in these structure decks. Again, once you see a system working, they're going to capitalize, and they see it with Rarity Collection, they see it with that structure deck, they're going to do it, man. And same with that video game as well. They see that, you know, people like it, people like the promos, they see what they can kind of take advantage of, and that's what they're doing. The market has not been kind these past few months. It definitely has not, as we've seen things skyrocket in price, sealed value skyrocket in price. Nothing is stabilizing, nothing is coming down in price. Everything is just going up, and that's causing people to get a little frustrated because they really have to pay an arm and a leg to just play this game. But also, even if they wanted high rarity stuff, they can only afford maybe 1 or 2 high rarity cards for their deck, because the price again has been so massively expensive. It's very hard to play this game at a high rarity rate. Again, whether you want to play the deck or not, I always say it, you know, it doesn't really matter, high rarity, no high rarity, because the card is going to do the same thing, high rarity, no high rarity. But I understand people want to get the shinier version of the card, and like I said, Konami is seeing that. Konami is taking over the market for sure, and you know, we got to keep our eye on this as well, because, you know, just like Pokemon, they have their craziness going on, and Costco elbowing people, pushing people in their targets, pushing people, grabbing stuff, pushing kids aside. We got to be careful, because we might be going down that same rabbit hole very soon if this continues. And they are, like I said, they're keeping their eye on that social media. They know, they see everything going on. So just we just gotta be aware, and we hopefully gotta be careful, because definitely on release date for this structure deck, I'm going to be a little more curious on social media to see what happens. I want to see if there's any craziness going on, and how fast these Walmart, these Targets, these Best Buys are getting sold out. I'm going to be very curious about that. I'm definitely going to be going the next few days as well, just checking to see if they brought it out earlier, and if they have, how many are left on the shelves, if any are left on the shelves, if even I can find any. Again, I'm in New York, so it's very tough to find stuff on the shelves, because everyone just grabs everything. So it's going to be very interesting to see, like I said. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What do you think about Konami possibly taking over this market, and I do believe they are. And do you believe that the market's going to get worse? Do you think it's going to get better? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. But it's very interesting to see the game plan that they got going forward here. But yeah, please subscribe, like, and comment, and peace out, YouTube.